Hello, everybody, and welcome to Simply Cards by Kathi. I'm Kathi Ondas, and today is Monday, May 20th, 2024. And I hope you're ready for another fun fold because I'm excited to share with you an easy diagonal fun fold. Now, you may or may not know what that is, but this uses one piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. And once we cut it for our card base, you can make 2 cards. We're only going to make one, but at the end, I will show you a second card using different stamp set and different designer series paper. So hope you'll stick with me to the end. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm happy you found me. I hope you'll like what you see and hit that subscribe button. And if you're with me live today, thank you so much for your support and being with me. I'm so excited to share this time with you. And if you catch me on the replay, thank you for taking the time to go back and watch the video. So hi, Susan. Thank you for joining me. Now, a quick reminder, tomorrow is free shipping day with Stampin' Up! So if there's some things you've wanted that you've kind of been waiting for, tomorrow may be the day to think about ordering them. Because if you order $75 or more before tax, you will get free shipping. And the shipping will automatically add in for you as free when you hit that $75 mark here in the US. If you're in Canada, I believe it's $100. So, all right, I have a lot to show you. So let's flip this camera down and get started. Okay, today I am using, for my fun fold, the Wildly Flowering Suite. Now, I'm going to be using the stamps and one of the dies, but I'm using this paper. And this fun fold that we're doing is perfect for showing off your designer series paper. So this is on page 41 if you're interested in that suite or bundle. And I just want to show you some of the papers because they're gorgeous. This is one of my favorite designer series papers. I believe in this catalog. Lots of colors. We have crumb cake and early espresso, misty moonlight, moody mauve, mossy meadow, and wild wheat. So look at these gorgeous floral designs. And then when you flip them over, you get some other florals, but then you also get some solids. This is a crumb cake, and it almost looks like a linen pattern. And then you have these like silhouette flowers with the misty moonlight, another floral, and then a silhouette pattern in the moody mauve. And then that other that almost looks like a linen paper in the misty moonlight. So these are some of the patterns we're going to be using today. So let me get started. And I actually had a special request. So before we even start the card, I had someone ask me if you have trouble folding your cardstock or burnishing it, how can you do it to get a good fold? So I just want to take a minute to show you. This is a piece of 4¼ by 11, and I'm scoring it. I'm going to score it at 5.5. I wasn't even really paying attention there. So let me just give you a tip. Remember, you want to fold into the hill. So if you put, let me bring this up a little bit. If you put the edge of your cardstock right up against the base and match your edges up and hold it in place, you can get a good burnishing and a really good fold to your card. So just a quick tip. Hi, William. Thank you for joining me. So we're going to start off for this 2 cards with an easy diagonal fun fold with one sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper. Now I want to show you how to score this. And I'm moving some of the stamps out of the way here. We're going to go on the short side. And we're going to score this, or score it. We're going to put a tick mark actually at 3 inches. So I'm just going to put this down, and I'm using my track to mark. And I'm going to use a pencil, and this is just a soft lead pencil that I can erase. Once you get your 3 inches marked, you're going to flip it around, and you're going to mark the other 3 inches. So let's mark it on this side at 3 inches. Now let me show you this before we cut it. So you can see the tick mark is on one side, and on this one, it's like on a diagonal on the opposite side. And it's important that it's that way, because that way we're going to get that diagonal fold for this easy fun fold. Hi, Kim and Carla. Thank you for joining me. So remember, you're making the tick mark on the short side, and you make it on one side, flip it around, and then you're going to make it on your other side. Now we're ready to cut our cardstock. And to do that, you want to line up the tick marks in your track. So I'm going to try to bring this in for you. And I'm going to back you up a little bit so you can see me here. And hopefully you'll see that. So I'm putting the top tick mark in the track here. And then I'm going to slide it up towards the top. And this bottom tick mark is at the other end of the track. And it's right in the track where you're going to cut. So let's do that. And look at that. You have 2 bases for your card, and they are on the diagonal. Okay, now we're ready to score. All right, so we're going to start on this small end, and we're going to score at 3 inches. So let's flip this around, starting at the smaller end of this diagonal. We're going to score at 3 inches. Now remember, you have both a cutting blade you want to get out of the way and your scoring blade. So score at 3. I'm going to open up my arm. And the next score mark is going to be at 6 3/4. Okay. Okay. We are ready for our card. Now the card is I have my folds, my hills to the inside, and we're going to get ready to put this card together. And I think we're done with that. So like I said, you now have the ability to make 2 cards from that one piece. So this would normally fold, and I wouldn't usually fold it till I'm done, but I'm going to show you how it's going to fold. And I do have PDF with instructions. So your fold between the middle and the right panel, you're going to fold into the valley, or hill, I'm sorry, the mountain. And then here, you're going to fold back into the valley so that your card is going to open like this. So into the hill and into the valley. Now, this is a great card I had mentioned for designer series paper. So I've cut 3 different patterns. I've taken the one large one. For the middle, I took a piece of white to put a greeting in there. You can leave it blank. I've seen them left blank. Hi, Denise. Thank you for joining. And then we have a small piece that's matching but different for this small flap here. Now, you're probably wondering what this is for. Well, this is going to go on the back of the center panel, because remember, when I fold this, I have something here, and I don't want to just leave it blank. So that's what our pieces and parts are. Now, when I've tried this panel card or this diagonal fun fold before, one of the challenges is getting the piece of designer series paper to really have the right angles and match up. So I have an easy way to do that. And let me show you. Two ways you can do this. You are going to take the very tip of this edge of the paper or point and match it up to the right tip of the cardstock. Let me flip this over so you can see that they match up here. And you can take your snips and cut that off. Now, if you're one that worries about cutting with snips, and I'm going to put this back over, again, you want this lined up. Okay. You can flip it over, take your pencil and mark your line, and then go back and put your line right along your blade, where the blade goes in your trimming tool, and you can cut that off that way. I'm going to use my snips. So I'm going to line that up again and make sure that the tip of my designer paper is even with the tip of the cardstock. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm simply going to cut with my snips right along the edge of the cardstock. Okay, this is all you have is waste. And then here is our piece of paper. All the angles match, and it really looks quite pretty. So I'm going to grab I'm going to grab my multi-purpose glue, and we're going to glue this down. So we're just going to glue them right as we go along. Now, if you're one that tends to get a lot of glue on your paper, a quick tip is I drag my tip right on the paper, and it prevents it from kind of gushing out so that you don't get too much of the glue on there. So let's go ahead and put this on. All right, that looks good. All right, now for the next piece, for the back or for the center here, I have my white. So to again do this, you're going to line the white corner up right along this fold between the center and the right panel. You're going to match the top of that fold or score line with the tip of that designer series, or you could use designer series paper or your basic white cardstock. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to trim. Now, again, you could take a pencil and mark it and then cut it with your trimmer. So, and I missed a little piece there because I moved. So I'm just going to trim that off again. Just at the tip here. Okay, so now we're going to add this. And this I'm going to add a sentiment to at some point once we get all this paper on. Hi, Mary, and hi, Denise. Thank you for joining. So here I want to line these up at the bottom so that they're pretty even. And slide it down a little bit. And now we're ready to do this piece. So again, lining up at that first score line, and the tip of your paper to the very top of where that score line starts. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm simply going to take my snips and cut that. All right, let's make sure this looks good. And I think we're in good shape. So let's go ahead and add that. So you can see this card really comes together pretty quickly. So let's add this, and then we're going to add that piece of crumb cake right to the back of where the basic white is. So now we're going to flip this over. And this is going to line up right here, top, the highest point of the score line. And I'm going to flip it over. And I have it backwards. I'm right-handed. So let me try that again. All right. So I'm going to pick that up. And we're going to just trim this off. Again, following right along the card base. Pretty easy. All right. So now this is going to adhere here. And believe it or not, we're almost done. So now this goes back here. All right. So here, now I want to burnish my folds. So I'm going to come in with my bone folder and just give that a good burnishing. I'm going to come in here and again burnish that. And when we open our diagonal fold, you have your center piece for your greeting and you have your front. So right now I'm going to leave this blank because I'm making a thank you. But let's do our focal point for this. Now I'm using a stamp from the Wildflower Designs. You have 3 or 4 different florals. You have a little bit of a background stamp. And then you have 3 different greetings. Thank you, sending happy thoughts, and you've been on my mind. So I'm going to use the larger one, and I'm going to come in with crumb cake. Now, I'm not going to color it. I'm simply going to stamp it. So my favorite way to ink my stamps up are to turn the stamp right side up and lightly tap the pad on the stamp. And then this is a cling stamp. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to stamp this on a little bit of an angle. Straight down and straight up. All right. Now, I am going to use a die from our Wildflower Designs. And let me show you these dies because there's not a lot of them, but there's really pretty. You have one for each of the floral designs you can stamp. But then you have these gorgeous frames where you have some triple edging, you have some scallops, and then this little one. So I'm going to use this one. And I'm simply going to put that over and we'll die cut it out. Now, by the magic of TV, I've already done that so that's going to be our focal point. So I'm going to put this right on here and I am going to pop it up with some dimensionals. So let's get those backs off. I hope you had a great weekend and had some fun. I did a lot of planting this weekend. We had some really beautiful weather. I'm here in Northeast Ohio, and today we hit 90, and we're supposed to hit 90 tomorrow. So it's been hot. So again, this is my focal point. I want it right on the center, and I just need to straighten it up just a little bit there. Okay, that doesn't look too straight. Let's pop that off a minute here and move it over just a little bit. All right, there we go. All right, now for my greeting, I went ahead and used the thank you from the stamp set, and I simply put it on a little piece of scrap paper. And I'm just going to tack it on here, right at the bottom. So let's go ahead and do that. Then I have a trick I want to show you about your either using linen thread or the baker's twine. So I'm going to tack that here. Now I wanted some baker's twine or linen thread that was the same color as the Misty Moonlight, but we don't have any. So I took my linen thread, and let me show you what I did. I took my linen thread and I rolled out a small amount, and I took my Stampin' Blends and I took the wide end. Now, important point is you want to use the side, and let me hold this for you. You want to use the side of your Stampin' Blends to color it. If you use the point, you're going to ruin the nice tip on your point, and you're going to ruin your blends. And I just kind of went along gently and colored a piece of linen thread and then let it dry. Now it's alcohol-based marker, so it dries pretty quick, but you want to be careful if you pick it up a little bit too soon that you get it on your hands and then transfer it to your card. So what I did is I made a bow out of linen thread using the Misty Moonlight Stampin' Blends, and I'm just going to put that right on my little flower there. So I'm going to add a mini glue dot, and let's just add it. I'm going to add it right there. Okay, so here's our card, and I want to embellish it. Now I pulled out two embellishments. I pulled out the new adhesive backed pearl trio. Let me bring those out and show you this. This is supposed to be Misty Moonlight right in here. We have Misty Moonlight, Calypso Coral, and Petunia Pop. But I wasn't so sure about that Misty Moonlight, so I pulled out the Tinsel Gems 3-pack. And this also has Misty Moonlight. And I think I like this one better. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add one right here. And let's add another small one. I'm kind of hoarse today. There. And then let's add a third one because I always like to have uneven numbers. I'm just going to put one right here. So let's move all this off to the side. Now on the inside of this card, you could stamp another flower or a different one and stamp your greeting. But a really easy fun fold and an easy way to cut that designer series paper. Now let me show you a second one. For this one, I used the Heartfelt Hexagon bundle along with the punch. And I use the new designer series paper Full of Life. And that paper is really bright, lots of squares and sunbursts and polka dots or dots. And it's just a simple birthday card using different designer series paper. And this was the back from one of those papers. And all it says is, let's eat cake. I hope your day is filled with joy. So a really versatile card that you can use and really show off your designer series papers. Let me bring you back to me. So I hope you enjoyed today's easy diagonal fun fold and saw how you can make two cards from one piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock and use your designer series paper to really do the work for you. I hope you have a wonderful week. Do not forget about the free shipping if you're waiting to do something as far as ordering, because tomorrow's the only day we're going to be able to take advantage of that. Also, the link to this, the post with the downloadable PDF, which has diagrams for cutting and scoring, and also all the measurements and instructions for putting the card together, will be up by 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. The link will be right in my YouTube video description, or just go over to my website, Simply Cards by Kathi, and look for the post dated for tomorrow, and it'll be right there for you. I hope you have a wonderful week. Stay safe and well. We are doing, that's another thing I wanted to tell you. We are doing mystery stamping on Wednesday night. I will be posting all of the measurements for the card that we'll be making later this evening, and I hope you'll join us at 7:30 on Wednesday evening for mystery stamping. Otherwise, I will see you on Thursday at 7 o'clock. Have a great week, everybody.